celebrating the Mid-Autumn Festival this week, sometimes known as Chinese Thanksgiving. Michelle Jalin is back on Morning Live with more on the food and the many, many traditions.
Thank you for having me, Bob. Thank you. So the Mid-Autumn Festival in Chinese is called Zhongqiaoji, and there's actually three themes that come with the Mid-Autumn Festival, and that is food, so harvest, thankfulness, gratitude, and family reunion, right? So back when I was in Chinese school, we used to talk a lot about folklore, right? About like the Chinese Thanksgiving. And there's actually an old story, but back in the day, there was an archer who was summoned to shoot down 9 out of 10 of the suns in the sky because it was causing drought and people were dying of thirst, and he was summoned to shoot down all 9 suns, and he succeeded. And because of that, he was awarded the elixir of immortality. And because of his presence in being this hero, he had lots of disciples from around the world who came in and to learn from him. So when he was rewarded the elixir of mortality, he planned to drink it with his wife on the 15th day of the 8th lunar month. Now, what happened though was that there was a disciple, this evil disciple. He stole it for himself, or he tried to, and instead his wife took it for herself and she drank it just to save it, to keep him from getting it. So now they say to on the 15th day of the 8th lunar month, if you look up at the moon, you can see the moon goddess because she's up there, and he gave these foods as a sacrifice.
That's where the moon cake comes from.
That's where it comes from, right? So, in terms of foods, right? So lanterns are one thing, right? You want to have beautiful lanterns that light up the night, right? But also mooncake. Mooncake is the #1 food at the Mid-Autumn Festival. And
now, there's an interesting story. Yeah, the messages, they were used to spirit up messages through the wartime.
Yes, they say back in the Yuan dynasty, they used to put little messages in the cake, so that's where they can get the messages through to the other side, and that's how they won the war.
Interesting. And now it's just messages of thankfulness and gathering and all the themes of the Mid-Autumn Festival.
Absolutely. And you give them as gifts to your friends and family. They come in these beautiful boxes. That's why they come in these nice boxes. And it's just to give them your best wishes. That's why you give mooncake. So traditionally they have lotus seed paste and egg yolk in them, but now they have all sorts of different kinds that they sell during this time of year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So moving on, this is a pomelo fruit, and it looks a lot like a grapefruit.
It looks like a huge grapefruit.
So it is family style. A lot of Chinese things are family style, and it was one of the moon goddess's favorite foods. So it's high in vitamin C, the antioxidant, and potassium, and it's a lot less tart than a grapefruit, and it's more sweet. So moving on, we have an Asian pear, the Asian pears, which normally you don't eat during this time of the year because the word in Chinese for pear also means separation. So, but you actually want to eat them during this time.
Right.
Because you want...
So they take on a different meaning.
Exactly. You don't want separation from your family during that time of year. And for the year ahead.
Speaking of togetherness, I also heard this time of year is popular for marriages.
Yes, absolutely. So a lot of times too, a lot of couples too, if you're getting married anytime soon, a lot of times the older generation will look at the, will ask the gods whether or not what would be a good day to get married. And sometimes it falls between this time.
Right, okay.
So duck always makes an appearance. It's a good protein to have during the time of year. And if you've ever noticed the lotus flowers, right? Here we have lotus root, and it's harvested in the fall. So you have it during this time of year. Here it's just stir fried with some Chinese mushrooms and spices and herbs.
Now this is Chinese broccoli?
Yes, that is Chinese broccoli, and I mean, a segment will not be complete without me talking about vegetables. So I love Chinese broccoli. I actually like it better than regular broccoli. And all you do is you cut off the stems and you boil it in some water 3 to 5 minutes.
How do you compare it with regular broccoli?
Well, nutritionally, I think it's superior. It's high in folate, vitamin C, vitamin A, and fiber. But it's really, I say on par with broccoli, maybe a little bit better. But I'm kind of biased.
Taste?
Taste-wise, I find the texture is a little bit different, so it's not so like it doesn't have these little Brussels things as much. So, but they're quite tasty. I really like it.
Yeah.
So I suggest you try it out if you know, you want to try something new and you get sick of regular broccoli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. As far as availability, just at all Chinese and Vietnamese food stores, like you can get these gift packages. And,
yes.
Yeah.
So another thing I love is these lanterns. And back when I was a kid,
it's the Lantern Festival as well.
Yes, right. So the Lantern Festival is it's a big part of this. So I love these lanterns. Kids usually like to make them, and so I put a bit of light in this one. And normally, what you do is it'd be candle inside, and they kind of light the way, and they light up against the dark sky, and it makes the moon look really beautiful with all these little colorful, beautiful lanterns floating around and hanging around in outdoors in the night.
Wow, and it's just beautiful.
Oh no, it's so beautiful. This is one of my favorite times of year.
As we've seen the festival in Toronto, and it's just, it's gorgeous.
Yes, it's absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the festival wraps up. What's the final date for this period?
So if you look on them, it's actually this Wednesday, October the 4th. So if you look up at the moon, it'll be very big, round, and bright. And the moon also represents family union.
Right.
But have a look at the moon, and maybe you'll see the moon goddess like floating by, because that's what they used to tell me when I was a kid.
We'll watch for her.
Watch for her floating across the moon.
Well, we're going to see the moon and lots of sunshine coming up. Brian's got a great forecast. Michelle, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me, Bob.